It's no secret that AI has taken over YouTube, and in more ways than one. AI-generated videos are flooding every aspect of the platform, but especially shorts. AI summaries are appearing underneath most long-form videos while you're scrolling on mobile. YouTube has added tools themselves that let you generate AI videos natively on the platform. And videos like this one about how AI is taking over YouTube are also taking over YouTube. Meanwhile, a lot of people who are much smarter than myself have warned that we are in an AI bubble, and when it pops, we don't know exactly what's going to happen or how much of our economy it's going to take down with it, considering this tech is propping us all up at the moment. Will AI content continue flooding platforms like YouTube in a situation where this bubble supposedly pops? I don't know, and I'm not really here to answer that question today. That's more of a distraction from what I actually want to talk about. Instead, I wanted to share the ways in which I, a human creator, have been doing my best to stand out and set myself apart from the flood of AI videos that will continue to flow onto this platform in a completely unmitigated fashion, while also explaining how you can stand out on this platform regardless of how you actually produce content. Whether you are totally anti-AI or you use AI to automate every single part of the content creation process, I think this video is for you because all of us have one thing in common, and it's that to be successful, real human people need to watch our content. Let me start things off by getting my own personal biases out of the way, so you understand where I personally am coming from in all of this. Personally, I don't like using AI as a content creation tool or even as an assistant to that cause. However, I also see the appeal. Working here at vidIQ is pretty interesting because I get to kind of see both sides of this coin. We even have our own tools, some of them powered by AI, that people can use to varying degrees to help them make content. And the thing I've heard the most from anybody enlisting the help of an AI tool to help them make content is that finally, some certain part of content creation feels accessible to them. But in my opinion, there's a really fine line between using a tool and having it unlock your abilities and potential, and having that tool take control of your content creation process. Like for long form videos on YouTube to have some success, a bunch of things need to happen all at once that video is posted. First, it needs to appear in either the search or recommended feeds across YouTube. Then people need to see the title and the thumbnail. Then they need to understand that title and thumbnail enough to be intrigued to click on the video. And it doesn't stop there, because once they start watching the video, they need to watch it for a certain amount of time so that YouTube sees that there's some viewer satisfaction there and it gets permission to continue spreading it across the site. And then for shorts, it's a bit different, but the same principles. That short has to appear on the shelf when you're on the home feed or in search or just in the feed while you're scrolling. The first 1 to 3 seconds is really all you have to get your point across. If you can't capture somebody's interest on a short in that amount of time, it's just one simple swipe of the thumb and you're gone and they've moved on. So every single creator on this platform, whether you use no AI, all AI, or somewhere in between, needs to understand what it takes to appeal to those human viewers to be successful. I call this your human edge framework. No matter how much AI improves, there are always 3 things that determine whether or not a video is to be successful. The first is taste. Do you actually know what looks good in your niche? The second is craft. Can you execute on that taste through editing, storytelling, pacing, thumbnails? And the third is judgment. Do you know what to publish? Cut from the video? Not post at all? Sure, AI can help with production, research, even editing, but it can't replace your taste, replace your judgment, or care about your audience for you. That will always require your human edge, and that is precisely why I'm not worried about the millions of AI clips that have come onto YouTube since the AI boom. Most of these videos won't get any views. They've posted something that people don't want to watch, and no, not because they're categorized as slop. It's because the people posting them haven't done that fundamental work to understand the needs or interests of any specific audience. All the basic YouTube advice tropes we're constantly telling new creators about are always at play, whether you make your content completely by hand or only with machines. So speaking of machine automation with videos, I want to talk a little bit about competition, because earlier I said I'm not even a little bit worried about all these clips being constantly posted to YouTube that are generated with AI. Why? Is that not more competition than ever before? Well, yes and no. Yes, there are more people taking shots at the target than ever before, but our own data shows that shorts alone saw over 98% growth between 2024 and 2025. Many of them are taking shots, but they're not hitting the dartboard. In fact, they're not even in the same room with the dartboard. They're out in the parking lot. So no, I don't spend my time worrying about that necessarily. But it's true that when there is this many people making so much content for every niche imaginable, there's bound to be some of them that do become successful that wouldn't have been otherwise. However, there's nothing you can do about that, and there never was. This has always been a question on YouTube way before AI. Is it too late to start a channel? No, it's not. And I'm going to show you a great example a little bit later on. In my opinion, there's only one thing you can do to stand out amongst a sea of creators. And no, it's not keeping tabs on your perceived competitors. It's the simple act of skilling up. And I'm going to tackle this from both sides of this argument. If you're currently using a lot of AI to make your videos and you're just not getting views, then I would challenge you to take a step back and start to treat the AI models you're using as training wheels, like on a bike. For example, if AI is creating your thumbnails for you, I want you to try this. I want you to have it make your next thumbnail for you, and then I want you to use a software such as Affinity, which is now free, and I want you to try to recreate that thumbnail yourself from scratch. Not sponsored, but Affinity Photo is very powerful. It's a competitor to Photoshop, and when you open it up for the first time, you are going to be completely overwhelmed. And I'm only using Affinity as an example here, but all of these content creation tools can be really big and scary, especially when you've never used one like them before. But remember, I'm just suggesting an exercise. Whatever you make or don't make with Affinity, you don't actually have to use. The exercise is to do as much as you can in an effort to recreate that thumbnail until you get to a point where you don't know what you're doing and you have to stop. Then I want you to look up a guide to solve that very specific issue you just ran into in Affinity. Maybe it's that you took a picture of yourself and you're trying to cut out the background. The AI is right there, but I want you to try and learn how to do that yourself. And here's my philosophy behind this exercise. When you understand how to do things like this on your own, you start to take back control over the content creation process. So in this example, the next time you use AI to make a thumbnail and it generates something that you don't quite like, you'll eventually have the tools and skills to make those changes yourself instead of yelling at the AI to do it again, but better. And look, if your attitude is, well, I don't mind talking to the AI and having it fix these problems for me, then you're missing my larger point here, because now I'm going to talk to the people who are struggling to stand out and are not using any AI. For you folks, here's my advice. The next time you record a video, I want you to experiment with one new type of edit that you've never tried before. One example could be adding J-cuts or L-cuts. If you have no idea what those are or what I just said, even better, because to stand out in the age of AI, you're going to need to learn how to skill up. We all are, because right now there are people who do understand these very basic fundamentals. Some of them even using AI to make these videos. They're successful and they're making these videos quicker than ever before. And yes, I'm still talking to the anti-AI crowd out there. If you don't like these AI tools, listen, I get it, but you should at least understand all the different things they're capable of. Me personally, I've experimented with all sorts of AI content creation tools once upon a time. And even though they didn't become part of my regular workflow, they did do something. I learned a lot about my creative workflow and process, things I didn't know about myself before. For example, I was trying to edit videos where I would talk and then I would stop talking and then I would talk again, which would create a big bit of silence in the middle of the clip. There are AI tools that will cut that silence out for me, but I just didn't like the job they were doing. So I did some research and learned new editing techniques I didn't know before, so I could cut the silences myself, but a lot faster than I used to be able to. What most people don't realize is that AI doesn't raise the ceiling of content on YouTube, but instead, it raises the floor. If everyone can make average videos with AI, suddenly the good videos become invisible. If everyone has the ability to be decent, only the exceptional will stand out. So for both groups of people watching this video, the AI users and the non-AI users, you need to skill up to stand out. I need to skill up to stand out. The vidIQ channel needs to skill up as well. Our niche has exploded since AI came onto the scene, and it's made me realize just how stagnant some of my skills have gotten over the years. So recently, I've been forcing myself to try and experiment with different things. One of the things I'm doing is trying to incorporate more props in videos. That might seem like a weird level up, but for certain videos, those props can be really great storytelling tools. For example, I built a Lego set while I was recording this video. If I want to incorporate props like that Lego set, I have to use contraptions like this so I can get a good shot, a different angle, and I can use those things to help get my point across in the video. Storytelling makes videos more interesting to watch, and I believe it makes them more memorable as well. So while my competition continues to do what I'm doing and sit at a desk and talk to a camera, I have to ask myself, what are some little things I can do day after day to try and make that experience just a little more interesting? Maybe building a Lego set in a YouTube growth video won't get me 1 million views or anything, but I do think it creates a more novel experience. By the way, if you watch the video about that Lego set, it'll make sense. I was building a Zen garden and I was talking about your mindset when you're creating content. It was pretty good. Anyway, now I want to show you an example of a channel who's actually capitalizing on the opportunities AI has provided them while also being completely against AI content in seemingly all its forms. This is Yellow Cherry Jam, and at first glance, I think you already see kind of where I'm going with this. Essentially, they're very outspoken about making music without any AI. Instead, they're using words like no AI lo-fi music, handcrafted tunes, human-made, and so on. This channel has identified what they perceive to be a problem, and they've decided to come up with a solution. That problem? Well, AI music is flooding YouTube and other platforms like Spotify as well. Making lo-fi beats is something AI can do in its sleep. So while all those other channels are scrambling to get a piece of that pie, Yellow Cherry Jam has gone against the grain and is easily one of the fastest growing music channels I've ever seen. They started 1 year ago and have already cracked 100,000 subscribers. They regularly get views that are way over their subscriber count, and in case it's not clear, that's impressive. Think about that. Where were you on YouTube exactly 1 year ago today? Were you getting the views you wanted to get? Were you posting videos and then asking yourself the question, are my videos even good enough compared to everybody else's? Would it have been better if I started 2 years ago? There's always been competition on YouTube though, and yes, it is easier now than it ever has been to publish anything on this website. But the people who are winning are still following the same principles that have always been in place. Make something worth watching for a specific audience. And let's look ahead. Here's where I see YouTube going over the next 5 years, and this is just my prediction. In the immediate future, Google has said that they want to get rid of AI slop on the platform. In the same breath, they also said that they want to let people make videos using an AI likeness of themselves. Basically, Google wants to still give you a place to use AI to make content, but they really like you to use their AI, presumably because they feel like they can get some more quality control over the final output if you use their tools. So that's the immediate, but over the next 1 to 2 years, I see the AI bubble popping, personally. Now, that's just based on stories like this one, and based on even more stories that I'll just put on the screen for you to check out at your leisure. I still think there's going to be AI content all over these platforms, whether that bubble pops now or 10 years from now. Because with stories like these, my take is to prepare for more AI in our futures, not less. During the next 1 or 2 years, bubble or not, people are going to still be uploading content to YouTube, whether that's AI content or not AI content. Since AI can be mass produced, there will likely be more AI videos at a certain point than there are videos made by people. In fact, we've already seen this scale tip with written content. So I don't know why it wouldn't also happen with videos if it hasn't happened already. And that's even with YouTube cracking down on AI slop, supposedly. 3 to 5 years from now, if this continues, probably sooner, I think we get to a point where people stop trying to point the finger at what is and isn't slop. By that point in time, I think the AI fatigue will have set in, and I think it'll be totally normal to see AI shorts and videos popping up all over the place. You'll have those of us who quietly choose not to watch those videos based on principle alone, and then you'll have people who do watch those videos because they've watched them for a long time, and for them, it's totally normal. This is already happening because there's already countless of AI channels making content for Gen Alpha kids. Those kids are growing up right now. Give them another 3 to 5 years, and seeing fully synthetic content on YouTube or any platform won't be weird to them. In case it's not clear, I'm not proud of this 5 years forecast. This is personally not the future I want for YouTube or any user-generated content platform. But even I can't ignore the things that have already changed. I also can't change them back, and neither can you. So, how am I preparing to make content in a world filled with AI videos alongside it? Well, for one thing, I'm not letting those videos live rent-free in my brain. I'm learning to accept that not everything uploaded to the internet is necessarily for me, and that's okay. Those videos might even get views, but that is not an indictment of the content that I make. Those views mean nothing to the videos that I'm making or the views they are or are not getting. I'm also continuing to skill up with the goal of making content that I believe people can't get anywhere else, knowing full well that I'm not going to be able to do that overnight, but every step I take towards that goal will make me a better content creator over time. And I'm looking at channels like Yellow Cherry Jam as the reminder that the demand for human-made content isn't going anywhere. In fact, it's probably stronger than ever. And if you're trying to future-proof your channel, here's your playbook. Develop your taste by studying great creators obsessively. Nurture your craft by learning one new skill every month. Improve your judgment by publishing, failing, and reflecting, thus taking advantage of your human edge. I'll see you next time.